Hello everyone, welcome back to my cooking channel. Today we are making pozole. I am showing you the way that I make it, authentic with homemade prepared hominy. It's delicious, so let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I am going to clean my corn kernels. I am doing about 2 pounds today. That's going to be plenty for the family, plenty for leftovers. So depending on what amount you need is the amount of hominy you are going to make. So it's a 4-pound bag. I'm going to go ahead and use 2 pounds of it. And I'm immediately seeing some that are kind of yucky, kind of ugly. This is almost like cleaning beans. You go through them. If they just don't look good, pull them out, throw them in the trash. Just a quick little glimpse. Then for additional cleaning, I'm going to run some warm to hot water, and you will see any flurries or any not good ones float to the top. Go ahead and remove all those, skim all those from the top. Just gives you pretty much like a second quick little clean for any old kernels or anything that just just doesn't look edible. So I'm going in here and just removing all of those and getting ready to really prepare the nixtamal. All right, so now I am going to add enough hot water to cover everything up, and then an additional about 2 inches of water. You can see we've got about an extra 1.5 to 2 inches or so. That's about how much you need for this next process. Now I'm going in with calcium hydroxide, known as cal, or calcium lime. I'll leave everything on where you can get something like this. Be sure that it is food grade and you're good to go. I'm using about a pretty nice serving spoon size. These are the type of spoons that you use for soups. It's not like a tablespoon. It's much bigger than that. I have the heat cut on, and I am mixing and mixing and mixing until the calcium is nice and dissolved. You will immediately see your corn, or your what is going to end up being hominy, turn this bright orangey yellow. If you see that change right away, that means you have used enough of your lime, your calcium lime. So now I am just continuing to stir, just making sure I used enough, and these look nice and bright and orange enough, so I know I have enough of that in there. This is what we look like about an hour and 15 minutes in. You can see all of the excess kind of skin and stuff, and that's what we're trying to get rid of. These will not bust and erupt the way that we want them to unless we clean them with the food grade calcium. So here I'm just doing a tester, and as you can see, all of that extra skin and that extra film and layer is easily coming off with me just rubbing it with my thumb. That's what you're looking for. Now that we know that these are ready, I'm going to leave them here covered and let them cool before I go in there and clean them. While that is cooling, I'm going to work on my sauce. This is going to be super easy. I have about 6 California chilies, 3 garlic cloves, 2 chile guajillos, some chile de árbol. I'll leave the exact amounts for this amount of pozole in the description bar below. We're going to go ahead and get these boiling, soften them up, rehydrate them so that we can use them for our sauce here shortly. This is cool enough for me to handle and be able to clean with my hands. So just immediately I'm removing any excess liquid and putting it through a strainer just to kind of help the process along. Look at all this extra yucky stuff that's coming off of these. Now, here is where you will spend a good amount of time. This is the way I clean them. I go ahead and rub them against each other. You want to remove all of the extra skin. You can see all of this film and all of this yucky stuff. We don't want to eat any of that. We don't want to serve that in our pozole. It's gross and it still has some of that calcium, so you definitely don't want to eat that. So I am going to do this process right here. I kid you not, about 5 times is how long it took me to get these squeaky clean. So this is my tip to you. You know you are done cleaning these when your water runs clear. Obviously, this is not running clear. This is only like the third wash right here. And just keep using your hands, rub all of that excess film off of them, clean, clean, clean. You can see water is still yellow and dirty, not edible. Keep going, keep going. Be patient. Yes, this is time consuming, but if you want some real authentic Mexican pozole, you got to put in the elbow grease, okay? So don't be afraid to get in there and just clean. As you can see, they're starting to come clean now, but you still want to continue until your water is nice and clear and you know you've gotten rid of any excess calcium hydroxide, any excess skin and film, so that your hominy burst. And once it's fully cooked, it expands and gets nice and fluffy, and it's just amazing in pozole. So totally worth it, okay? Here we are, still dirty. Keep going. Don't give up. Okay, so after a good 5 times of me washing these, they have finally come completely clean. That last batch of water was absolutely clear. Now I feel great about serving this to my family with no excess film, with no excess calcium hydroxide. They are good to go. So now we are ready to start cooking these. Yes, I know, Jeanette, you haven't even cooked them yet. No, guys, we haven't really gotten that far, but you cooking them in that cal does soften them up. So that's a good thing. As you can see, I just showed you with my spoon that the water is running clear. I'm adding a couple of garlic cloves and half of an onion, and I have this at a roaring boil for now for a good hour. So these are still not nice and busted and fluffy the way we want them. That's okay. They are ready for that next step though, which is adding your meat. I have some pig's feet. I have some pork rib with the bone, provides great flavor. I'm also adding some pork shoulder. I'm cutting these into smaller strips so that they cook quicker. I'm adding this directly into that boiling water with hominy, and we're going to leave that alone for a good 2 hours so that that meat and the hominy can now start cooking together. And you should be ready in a couple of hours. While all of that is going, it's the perfect time to start chopping up all of your toppings, put those in a plastic container, and pretty much just wait to do your sauce, and then your food is ready. So I like to multitask. I like to dice everything up, my cabbage. As you can see here, I'm working on the onion, and since chopping vegetables is time consuming, I feel like, hey, while one thing is going, let's get this part going as well. That way, when everything is done, you are prepared, and all you really need to do is, make yourself a plate. So at that point, you are ready. This is what I like to top my pozole with. In the video before this one, I did show you my special chili oil salsa that I like to use for pozole, for any soups, for any stews, and anything like that. So be sure to watch that recipe for the salsa first, because you can make the salsa the day before, or you can make it, before you make anything else. So here are my toppings, guys. Easy, simple goodies: cabbage, cilantro, onion, lime, and you are good to go. You can add radishes also, and your dish is good. So now I've got all my toppings set aside. Now I'm gonna blend everything that I boiled not that long ago, all of the red chili peppers, so that we can go ahead and color our pozole and give it that beautiful red tint and flavor. So here I'm adding salt and chicken bouillon, and like I said, all of the amounts for everything is broken down in the description bar below, so that you guys, I don't lose you anywhere along this video, so that you guys have everything at hand when you get ready to create any of my recipes. So now we are going to blend this to, it's going to be a thick consistency. If you want to add a little more water or broth to kind of loosen it up a little bit, that is also fine. But I like to just kind of get it into a sauce, and then with the same broth of the of the meat, then I just kind of put the broth over it, and that helps dilute it. So here you can see I'm adding some of the broth, enough to blend. And then if you need a little bit more as you're straining, then you can go ahead and add a little more broth, get that sauce moving through a strainer, and that'll make it just so much easier. Here we go, blend until well incorporated. And as you can see, our meat is ready. Look at this rib just coming right off the bone, delicious. So this is the perfect time to go ahead and add your sauce. And as you can see here, I'm gonna go ahead and use the broth to help move it through the strainer, and it'll just make it so much easier. The sauce will go right through, and then you are done. I'm gonna let this cook for maybe another 20 minutes with the sauce, and then we are ready. Meat is nice and tender. Hominy is nice and tender. I add my sauce, let everything kind of cook together for a good 20-30 minutes, and then we are done. This next step here, as you all know, pork meat is fattier meat, so it is going to release a lot of grease and a lot of fat that's going to come up to the top. Skim it all off. There is nothing worse than making yourself a bowl of delicious pozole, all that work you put in getting the hominy, you know, clean and to bust just right, all of this tender meat, and then your broth is greasy and it sticks to your lips. No. That is not the way you eat pozole. Skim all of the fat off the top, all of it. The most you can, the better. I promise you, your broth will be nice and clean opposed to greasy and yucky. So do not skip the skimming of the excess fat. Look at this, guys. This meat is literally, look at rib bones just popping out, super duper tender. I'm going to show you what the hominy looks like. Look at this beautiful erupted, busted hominy that is just so soft and amazing. I've got the pig's feet nice and tender. I added a little bit of chicken because the kids love chicken. I added like 2 thighs in there for the kiddos. And then look at this. Just deliciousness. Flavor is there. So good. So now we're going to fix a plate. But look at this beautiful hominy. Look at how perfect it just busted open like that. And like I said, all of that work in the beginning, so worth it because you have some delicious, authentic, freshly busted hominy opposed to using, you know, the ones out of a can that have been sitting there for God knows how long. Of course, in a pinch, it could work. But if you're going to take the time to make pozole, let's make it right, guys. Let's just do it. Spend all day. Look at how beautiful this is. And it is bursting with flavor. So yummy. I'm going to go ahead and top it. Add everything that I like on here. And then you are ready to eat. Now, I forgot to mention this, but it will be in the description below. I did season the broth with the meat by itself. And I also seasoned that sauce mixture. Make sure you looked at that below so you know how much to put of everything. Here is that red salsa I was telling you about. That is just that red chili oil salsa macha. The recipe is posted up on my channel already. Do not miss it. This will elevate this pozole to another level. Look at how tender this meat is. It is just perfection. And this is how I make my pozole rojo, which is my red pork pozole. So delicious, authentic, bursting with flavor, perfect for cold weather. Like, you just can't go wrong with this dish at any time. Look at how beautiful the hominy turned out. OMG, so good. I hope that you guys really enjoyed this recipe. It did take me a long time to record it and edit it for you guys, but it is so worth it, and I hope that you guys like it, that you try it. Leave me a comment, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.